one water faucet. One running water comes one water faucet. When everybody has to cook and clean, you stand in line. When water runs out, or too bad, you just cannot have water. And we live in a 2-room apartment, gave to my dad from his employer, we call the work unit. That means everybody's guaranteed a job, like Bernie Sanders said, but what kind of job and what kind of living condition, right? You work for the state 6 days a week. You cannot keep your family fit. So, guess what? You just got to be hungry. That's my childhood memory. Hunger, my stomach is growling. And my uncle told me how to trap rats. But very soon, rats run out. Not much bone anyway, but when the stomach is growling, the suck on the rat's meat and the bone is still very satisfying. But they ran out too. Like people today in Venezuela. Dogs, cats, birds, all run out. Doesn't matter if you have a doctor degree or not. You are equally poor and hungry. So when Mao started Cultural Revolution, I had no idea about China's history, about his campaigns in the past. I just knew I was hungry. And by the time I went to school, and I can treat my beautiful fan as little red mouse book. You go to school 6 days away, talk about communist indoctrination. Every day you go to school, you chant, long live Chiang Mao, long live the Communist Party, 10,000 years, another 10,000 years. If you chant that for 5 straight years, do you have a word left? You are capable of critical thinking? No, I never even thought about it. Is he human or not? I grew up thinking Mao was God. That's how brainwashed I was. Also because my parents were pro-working class, they were not educated. They did not know anything about God or human or science, nothing. We just all supposed to chant, even though we were starving. We were told Taiwanese people were suffering. All you imperial Americans were suffering. And you're bad guys, capitalists, bloodsuckers. That's what we're told. Hate Americans. We're even told not to smile like Americans. Don't smile like ugly Americans. So sad. You don't see Americans have faces nowadays. Especially last year, right? No faces. I was so sad to see. Now nobody, even Americans can smile. I don't know who is who behind that mask. And like I said, personal freedom denied exists. Economical freedom, everything owned by the state. So as young people, you treat your personal freedom. Here, like mine, past sugar is banned. If you have a crush on little boy and girls in middle school, high school, ban dating. If you want to sing love songs, it's called rotten music. Okay? You want to look sexy, pretty, have body curve, girls, have lipstick on? No. That's a capitalist lifestyle. Banned. So you become like a robot. You don't know what words like. Every day is like, yes sir, yes ma'am, yes teacher. Like you write diaries every night. When I was a child, Mao divided people into oppressed and oppressor. Sounds familiar in today's America? And the 5 red classes under oppressed group. And the 5 black classes, that means tell you, righteous, influencers, rich farmers, landlords, are the oppressor groups. It's all about a class. So he separated Chinese into 2 big classes and 2 big groups and 10 classes. And we're supposed to hate. I was a red child, I got to hate black children. In terms of classes, not skin. But it's the same game you play. You got to hate. How do they divide people to fight against each other if you don't instill hatred into your brain as a child? Then you learn, report on each other, report on your parents. During the Cultural Revolution, my grandmother went through struggle sessions. Every day stand up there for a year, She married to somebody who was a leader of the Sichuan village, outlaw leader. They thought he was counter-revolutionary, but he was killed by his own men. So because my grandmother's former dead husband, she had to go through struggling sessions for a year during the Cultural Revolution to confess. I confess. Sorry about my dead husband. Sounds familiar and crazy. So all the Red Guards were shut down schools and 4 Mao used as really pawns, so-called useful idiots by Lenin, by communist leader, to follow Mao and to treat him basically like a god. And after Mao used them, sent to the countryside. And I have friends who were black class families in schools. They can later wear red scarf, become red guards, and they have to keep their head down. Whenever we say, remember, keep your face up, like this. Okay, this is what happened during Mao's Cultural Revolution. You saw that last year in America. Say it. You got to be, actively anti your enemies. Otherwise, you are not PC. So they make you cannot even keep silent. So if you are a black child, your grandparents were rich landlords, you have to come out to denounce your families. You have to say, I'm going to change my name, I'm going to draw the line with my families so that I can be a red child, I can be the red class. I went through that crazy time. By the time Mao is dead, I was 12 years old and had a little bit of brain left to say, who lied to me? Who lied to my generation, my parents' generation? So when Mao died, the schools reopened, especially colleges. I wanted to search for truth. So I want to go to best university in China and study law. It's like when humans become like a godlike, the society suffers because humans are not trustworthy. They have flaws. They want the power. So I wanted to transform China into a society, rule of law. Well, I went to college. I was told the law purpose is not about justice. It's about the tool, use this tool to govern the masses. That's the Communist Party's legal system. So I got lost again. What should I do now? And I heard this country called America by communicating with a foreign student, an American student. And there is a Declaration of Independence. So basically, the light bulbs came on, and I started to plan my escape. So finally, when they got a pink carnation, remember in China, even today, since the day you were born, you are subject to state control. Your parents have to register you in the local police station. When you become student, you have student file called later become personnel file. When you get a job, they follow you until you die. So you are told where you live, where you can travel to, which school you can go to. I'm not talking about Mao's Cultural Revolution. We talk about today. China, supposed to be the second largest economy. Then everything's on your cell phone to track you. Cash does not exist anymore in China. Everywhere you go, even peasants were getting a mobile phone. It's pretty cheap, a few hundred yuan, you can buy one. So every financial transaction is on your cell phone, connected with your cell phone number. And if you do something illegal or bad, guess what? Everybody knows, the government knows. And how many of you heard China's social security system? Good. You're very informed audience. Lots of people out there don't know. That's why they don't recognize what's coming to the Western world countries and coming to America. So there's a point system. They learn that they developed that into social credit system, basically built on the household registration system in China, since PRC, and the personnel system, since PRC, to track every person. Somebody yesterday asked me, what if I just buy a land? I live off the grid. Oh, try that in China. Good luck. Communist Party block committee is in every neighborhood, every block. How can you hide? There's no place to hide. I have a friend who just come out as a political refugee 2 years ago. He went to jail for 7 years in China because he told the truth about June 4th. He was a political prisoner, but they used other economical crimes to arrest him, no trial. 1 hour, 2,000 people, public meeting, he's guilty, go to jail 7 years. He said he could not stay in China because his families were at risk. His families were recruited to watch him every day when he lived with them. So he said, I don't want to risk my family's lives and jobs, but they're tracking me. How sad is that? So he had to escape to America. So that social credit system is just a lot worse. Use a big technology, big tech, and big tech equipment. There were over 300 million facial recognition cameras at all the public places. And if you go to China, go through customs, your face will be scanned, not matter which passport you hold. And so they can track you very fast. So that's why I haven't been to China since 2015. So I come to this country because I was so brainwashed. Guess what? It took me 20 years of my life, since 24, to wake up in this country. I was then 44 years old. And I feel like, I'm a kind of independent thinker now. And that's when I was exposed to libertarianism. And it's like a free market, Austrian economics. How come I never heard those kind of solutions before? I started to read about, free to choose. And, of course, endless shrugged. It's like, wow, my whole life was a lie. I did not know how central planning policies start those people to death in late 50s until I come to this country. So if we allow government schools to indoctrinate children, take lifetime to wake up. I'm an example of that. That's why we got to think about something to do with education. Keep your children grow. Don't belong to the state. So when I wake up, I just thought, I need to learn about American politics. How come racism is going on? It not sounds right to me. Same rhetorics I heard in China, a bigger, more authoritarian government. So I started to get active after 2008. I ran for office. I got involved in HOA, my charter school board, and become even chairwoman, and fired the first principal under my watch. I feel so empowered. As a new citizen of this country by choice, I took my every freedom right seriously, not for granted. And I tried to warn Americans for years, ever since I ran for office in 2016 Colorado for U.S. Senate. As Libertarian candidate, of course, I was keep out of debate. I could not go national TV because I was third party, but my name was on the ballot. Ever since that race, I got lots of practice, just beating around, educate people. And I found out, I know what's going on. I saw what's going on in the country. Remind me of what happened in China and other socialist countries, but lots of Americans don't know. But I have completely failed in the past 4 years to educate people, because look at what happened last year. One magic virus from Wuhan lab basically shut down the world economy. All the Western democracy countries, I thought, for freedom, wow, they all took after China hardcore shutdown models. They companies were open. And the worst is that you can be outside. Fresh air, sunshine. Don't wear a mask. They didn't harass, maybe arrested and tased. It's not just in the United States. It's in Australia, it's in UK, it's in Canada. I feel like the world has totally gone insane in front of my eyes. I could not sleep last year, especially after the whole summer long time. At the beginning, I thought the peaceful protest after Floyd's death, I support that. I thought, hey, it's time to talk about real reform. But then, things changed. I did not see peaceful protests anymore. It was violence, looting, riots. And if the founders come out to say, we are trained Marxists. Who trained you? Who funded your training? Who are your organizations? How long you have been training? And then you have 1,000 public health officials come out to say, we support those people. They don't have the social distancing, they don't have to wear masks because they were not a public health threat. It's like, are you kidding me? This virus has color? This virus is political? Of course I know it's political because I listen to Chinese Mandarin news weekly from China, some of the stuff from China. I was always suspicious about Chinese government. They use the virus, weaken the economy of the world, and interfere with U.S. elections, and crash down Hong Kong, and threaten Taiwan. So their own people, Chinese people are very nice people. I'm sure you all feel that way when you go to China. Hospitable, peace-loving, but they are passive. You know why they're passive? I just told you, the whole family is trapped. If one person becomes dissident, your entire family, maybe your 30 relatives, are at risk. Who is there to do that to their own loved ones? Unless you escape, you cut them out, come to the West. Secondly, 1.4 million Chinese people cannot buy guns, cannot own guns. Even a toy gun can get you into jail. A killer knife can get you into jail. I was told when I was young, if somebody breaks in our house, just go to grab my kitchen choppers, you know, those Chinese cooking, boom, chop the big bone down, use those as your weapon. Some people, 1.4 billion Chinese, in the second and largest economy, I'm not sure it is, but then they have no freedom. But then they were brainwashed, propagandized every day. Just look at today's campaign. What is today's campaign? It's China Dream. It's Xi Jinping, our new spiritual leader, to Tibetans, to Buddhists in Xinjiang. If you go to mainland, you only go to the places they allow you to go. You have the special permit to go to Tibet, to go to see Uyghurs concentration camps. No, you can never see it as a reporter. They deny it. It's not happening. So it's good through the COVID, we see people waking up to see what's going on and to see why we have world leaders, U.S. politicians. And those people are pushing for Chinese-style lockdown on their citizens. If your government tells you stay home, you don't stay home. Well, in China, at least they bar your apartment gate. You cannot get out. I saw this funny video. A dog go out and pick up Chinese food delivery. Smart dog. Yeah, at the burn food bag. But they bar your doors. But American self-censorship, complying, obey, living fair, every day brought into mainstream media, fear-mongering, and politicians' talking points and rhetoric. It's like even my own Chinese families are very afraid. My other Chinese friends are very afraid. We're masked outside. I just wonder, what are they reading? What are they listening? And I'm not. So we have to point out to them, don't listen to those. Shut them down. Don't try to because I gained freedom. I came here with $100 in my pocket. I did not speak English. I was $1,200 in debt. Did I complain? Did I sit on my bottom, oppressed? I did not even speak English. I had to work as an RA in graduate school. And I had to save money, make my every penny stretches. I have to study English every day with little pocketbook, pocket dictionary to check out how do you pronounce vinegar, how do you spell vinegar. I have to constantly I put all the responsibility on my own shoulder to achieve American dream. But the people who are born in this country want to be oppressed and blame something else. Never blame themselves, never took the initiative, but that's what those elitists, politicians, communist leaders, socialist leaders want you to believe that. Want you to believe that. Play victim, you're oppressed. So we need to bring everybody down to be with you and to feel sorry for you. You're not competent to make your own decisions. And then when the aging Americans in New Hampshire got organized, people even say, oh, aging Americans in New Hampshire, we are supposed to be largest minority in the state, 3%. But we're supposed to be oppressed. We're supposed to all vote for Biden. We're supposed to all be Democrats. That's what they want to say. When our signs for Trump got destroyed, and some people say, is this Republican tactic? They pretend there is an aging American group. I had to go out to say, somebody please talk to me, interview me, I'm real, let's have coffee, even though you're Democrat leader, BLM leader, I'm real. Come meet with me. Come meet with me. Lots of Americans, especially our youth, they don't understand how evil the ideology of communist socialism is. They think it sounds wonderful, free stuff, justice, equity. How do you really have equity when you don't use government to redistribute wealth? Equity is a Marxist term. Our kids don't know that. I recognize that because I've heard that all the time. Public good is also a socialist term. But my Democrat friends use all the time for public good, for public health. Wear a mask, take the vaccine. Otherwise, you're killing my family members. You are selfish. I love freedom. I was accused to be selfish. I was accused to be a right-wing conspiracist. And I could be called white supremacist someday. Because I'm married to my white husband. Is that crazy? But our people bought into that. I feel so sad in this country. I was terrified last year, even this year, what's going on, especially after January 6th. I have a Chinese guy, went to Capitol, and he come home, posted a picture. He said, I don't understand. I was called domestic tourist in Tiananmen Square when I protest peacefully. And my student went to Hong Kong protest called domestic tourist in Hong Kong. And now I'm in my dream country, America. Go to a peaceful rally. Well, he did not go inside, he did not do anything. He was called again domestic tourist. He said, I'm totally confused. Is this still America? Should I go back to China? Yeah. And when Vietnamese guy did not know anything, wandering to Capitol, take picture, his face got caught. He lost his 6 digits income, annual salary job. And the bank trying to cancel his loans for mortgages. People are really suffering. Aren't you scared when you get canceled, when you get banned? I get a fact check. I get a fact check by talking about CCP in China. Who is more expert than somebody who lives there for 24 years? So talk about CCP infiltration of our society. I'm sure you all know Confucius Institute came to this country in 2004, okay? And all over the Western country